with Kevin Darcy over at one of the owners of Corb CrossFit here in Galway, Ireland, and I'm going to be asking him some questions about rugby and power sport specification, as well as Olympic lifting and whether it's an exhibitor or a strength builder. So Ken, why don't you describe to me what a rugby power athlete should be focusing on in the off season?
Okay, yeah, so coming from a strength and conditioning background and having worked a little bit within pro rugby, Nick, we've just gone through and made some messy notes here already. So we've looked at this. So we looked at rugby as being a year-long periodisation, as is one season per year. So within that we looked at the different areas that need to be worked on and improved, and we decided that if we start our season, or start our off-season, by looking at injury prevention, because the less time players are injured, the more improvements we can make. Within injury prevention, we want to correct muscular imbalances, which we need to identify by testing first of all. We want to include proprioceptive improvements so that people have more stable joints. We want to make sure they have adequate muscle length, flexibility, with that stability around joints, stabilise the shoulders, stabilise around the lower back, neck stability for contact, ankle stability. We don't need to be losing guys because of sprained ankles throughout the season. And then of course for injury prevention, fatigue resistance will become important, both at a muscular level and at an aerobic and conditioning level. So in the off season, if we look at a classic linear periodisation model, we might start with injury prevention, active recovery. We may then move from that into a hypertrophy and muscle building phase. Then we go into a high force production, heavy strength phase, where we're improving the maximal force output. From that we go into a power phase where we're introducing speed also to make the player faster with the new strength and size that we've just built on their stable injury preventative body. So now we're going to bring in a speed element, improve the rate of force production, and then right in the pre-season we want to really peak a person's speed in terms of their running speed, running mechanics. We want to maintain our injury prevention, of course, maintain strength, maintain power, and we want to work in their aerobic conditioning at that phase as well. Throughout season, we need to maintain all of the elements. We need to do a lot of on-the-pitch work where we're working on conditioning, aerobic systems maintenance. We want to improve their running speed, their change of direction, their deceleration. From a physical standpoint, we need to work on tactical awareness, skills on the pitch, and teamwork, because this is what's ultimately going to win games. So in the off-season we build attributes, and we know that strength once built takes a long time to get rid of. So we can just maintain that once or twice a week in season, depending on how much the team trains, but we give up a smaller percentage to that type of training in season. So off season, when we have an opportunity to step away from the pitch, when we have guys fresh, they haven't got hit at the weekend, they don't have niggly shoulder injuries and so on, let's go into the gym, let's improve their biomechanics by increasing their muscular balance training, making sure that their body works correctly. That's the first phase. That might take 2 to 3 weeks. From that we're going into a hypertrophy phase, which may take 4 weeks. We're doing a lot of muscle building. We're staying between 70 and 80% of their 1 rep max. We're doing 10 reps, 12 reps, 8 reps. We might be doing supersets. We're improving the size of the muscle. From that we go into a strength phase, which may take another 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe we're doing slightly lower reps, around 80%, 85% of their 1 rep max. We might be doing 5 sets of 5. We're hitting big compound movements. We're increasing maximal force output. Once that's built, we go into a shorter power phase. Here the weights might lighten a little bit. We might move to more Olympic lifting variants, power cleans, power snatches that have a high speed element if we look at the force velocity curve. Here the reps go down as well. The rests might get a little bit longer. The power output is huge, even though the weight on the bar might be a little bit less. And from there we're into our pre-season where we're looking at running speed, running mechanics, change of direction, aerobic conditioning, and a little bit of strength and injury preventative maintenance. Into season, the teamwork, the on the pitch, the technical, the tactical becomes the most important.
Awesome.
Strength work becomes a smaller aspect, so we go into the gym. We want guys to maintain their injury prevention work all through the season. We want them to do strength maintenance sessions and power maintenance sessions occasionally to improve the neuromuscular efficiency of their high power output requirements on the pitch, which are tackling, jumping in the line out, lifting in the line out, scrums, bursting through a tackle, and initial acceleration when sprinting.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's a great explanation of the off-season and in-season. Now, what do you believe, Olympic lifting, do you believe that it is a strength exhibitor, or do you believe that good strength, not necessarily maximal strength, but that overall strength can be gained from Olympic lifting.
Yeah, for sure. So, for definitely, Olympic lifting is a great exhibitor of strength. If you're very strong, you can demonstrate your strength by doing Olympic lifting, particularly with the 1 rep max. I believe that to build strength, it's important to do Olympic lifting because of the high power output that's required, because of the speed. It's also helpful for coordination and other different neuromuscular components. But I do believe that training as an Olympic lifter builds a lot of strength. For this reason, Olympic lifters are very strong. We know that on a completely force production, high force, low velocity, powerlifting training may be slightly better, but there isn't a speed element in that. So for high power development, Olympic lifting is very, very difficult to beat. Also, the power developed is at hip, knee and ankle extension. That's our peak power production in the second pull of a snatch or clean, in the drive and a jerk. And this translates very, very well to sporting movements where peak power is produced when you triple extend at the hip, knee and ankle, when you run, jump, tackle, etc. So in that regard, the strength curve produced by Olympic lifting is very, very applicable to real world sporting challenges. The rep ranges used, which might be 3 reps or 5 reps typically in training, build strength a little bit better than 1 rep maxes, which typically build just neuromuscular efficiency.
Awesome. And one quick little one, squat clean versus power clean. Which one do you believe is more effective in a programming session?
Yeah, so squat clean is definitely more effective for lifting more weight, and it definitely helps people learn how to receive load in the bottom position, which might be important if you get tackled and drove into the ground, to be able to accept the challenge and not get injured during that. Good to increase mobility. The power clean is somewhat simpler to do and simpler to teach. There's a slightly higher power output even though the weight is less. So the power clean is an incredibly effective tool for everybody to use. It's quite easy to use, and I recommend that a lot of coaches use that. Squat clean is a little bit more difficult, also very effective and very useful, but maybe the time needed to teach it maybe doesn't justify the extra benefit for other sports.
All right, Kevin. Thanks again. So, Kevin Darcy here from Corb CrossFit over in Galway, Ireland. Thank you.